Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I got a story so embarrassing that my brain tried to delete it from my memory. But guess what? YouTube content comes first. Let's talk about the day I pooped my pants, got lost, and almost made a grown man cry. All on my first day of nursery school. Yeah, let's go! So I was like 2 or 3 years old, a little human potato with big eyes and zero life skills. My parents were buzzing. Today's your first day of school. You're going to make so many friends. And I'm there like, no, I'm not going. I kicked, I screamed, I turned into a spinning top. You know those movie scenes where the mom drags the kid by the arm and the kid's legs are just sliding on the floor? Yeah, that was me. We reached the school, and the second my parents let go of me, I just stood there like a deer caught in headlights. Everything smelled weird. Kids were sticky. One was screaming because their crayon broke in half. Another was chewing on Play-Doh like it was bubble gum. I wanted no part of this. My brain was screaming, stranger danger, run. They tried to settle us down for story time. The teacher was reading some book about animals wearing clothes, which frankly was suspicious behavior for animals. Meanwhile, I was plotting my escape, and my stomach was plotting something else entirely. My stomach went, initiating DEFCON 1, release imminent. I needed to go, bad. But here's the problem. I was too shy to ask. The teacher looked scarier than Voldemort. I was pretty sure asking to poop meant instant social death, so I sat there, sweating bullets, praying my body would cooperate. And then, tragedy struck. I pooped my pants right there on my first day. I froze. Then the smell hit me, and I started crying. The teacher came running over. Why didn't you say you needed to go? Ma'am, I was 3. I didn't even know my house address. I was basically a very small houseplant with anxiety. So they whisked me off to a private corner and handed me a pair of emergency pants. Let me tell you about emergency pants. They're a special blend of always 2 sizes too big, always a suspiciously bright floral pattern, and they always smell like they've been marinating in a dusty cabinet since the Reagan administration. So I'm waddling around like a tiny, floral-themed sumo wrestler. Tell me in the comments, did your school have an emergency pants bin? I need to know I'm not alone in this fashion nightmare. Teacher, who was clearly done with me, then asks, do you at least know your home address? And my 3-year-old brain, full of false confidence, says, no, but I know the way home, because obviously I was a child genius who had Google Maps installed in my brain. Spoiler, I did not. So she calls over this poor guy who works there. Let's call him Bob. Bob probably thought, great, quick 5-minute walk, easy day. I'll be back for my coffee break. Nope. We start walking and walking and walking. The sun is getting hotter. Rob's face is starting to sweat. Every few minutes he'd ask, are you sure it's this way, buddy? And I just point to a random house and say, yes, that one has a cool looking leaf. I'm just making up my route as I go. Maybe that's it? Ooh, that one has a dog. Is it that one? The one with the blue fence? I led this poor guy on a wild goose chase for what felt like an eternity. Eventually, Bob gives up. His initial optimism has been replaced by pure, exhausted resignation. Okay, we're going back to school before I lose my job. We turn around, and as we get back near the school gate, I suddenly look up and go, look, that's where my parents live. 5th floor. And Bob just stops dead in his tracks. He looks at me, then at the building right across the street, and his face just says, Are you kidding me? Turns out my house was literally right across the street from the school the whole time. The whole time. We go into my building. Bob rings the bell, looking like he just finished a marathon. My mom opens the door and goes, "Oh my God, where were you?" And I'm just standing there in my neon floral pants of shame and say, "I pooped my pants and went exploring." My mom nearly fainted. My dad just stared at me, completely speechless. Bob, the poor, traumatized man, tried to explain everything while my mom inspected my emergency pants like they were a biological hazard. My dad finally asked, "Son, how many houses did you visit today before finding ours?" And I said, innocent, "I don't know, but it was a long way." My mom just sighed so loud it probably echoed across the neighborhood. And you'd think that would be the end of the story, right? Wrong. My parents told everyone. Relatives, neighbors, random guy at the grocery store. Even now, years later, my mom sometimes says, "Remember your first day of school when you pooped your pants and got lost?" Thanks, Mom. Great for my self-esteem. And that, my friends, is how I nearly traumatized an entire school staff and invented my own personal GPS, all before I could properly spell my own name. Lessons learned: don't trust toddlers for directions. Always ask to go to the bathroom. And emergency pants are never fashionable, ever. If you enjoyed my traumatic journey, smash that like button, subscribe for more embarrassing stories, and tell me your own childhood disasters in the comments below. And don't poop your pants. Catch you guys in the next video.